Hey, it's me again, Otis Smith with Interruptions Podcast. Please go to my YouTube channel and subscribe. It's you put my name in, Otis A. Smith at the third, and I'll pull right up. Please hit the subscribe button and leave your comments. I have a lot of different episodes of my show that God has so eloquently blessed me with. Um, if you could leave your comments and shoot me, let me know who you would like for me to interview. And once again, we'll see if we can take that request and make it a reality. Coming up next, we have a gospel singer, anointed woman of God, Lena Byrd Miles, coming up next on the Interruption Podcast. So stay tuned. Make sure once again you subscribe. Go to Otis, OTIS, middle initial A, Smith, then the number 3, and you'll subscribe to my YouTube channel. Coming up next on the next episode of Interruption Podcast, Lena Byrd Miles. Stay tuned. Welcome to another edition of Interruptions. I'm your host, Otis Smith. Today, I have a multi-talented woman of God. She sings gospel. She's a worship leader. She's not a new artist, but she's got her new album coming out, and you can be at her concert. She can bless you with the word of God. And ladies, if your hair not tight, she can snatch that hair for you as well. Because she's also a woman of God. She's also a hairstylist. I'm talking no other than the beautiful anointed woman of God, Lena Byrd Miles. How you doing?
Thank you, Mr. Otis. Thank you for having me, Mr. Otis. I'm honored and I'm great. I'm thankful that you've given me this space. Thank you for that beautiful introduction.
Oh yes, 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 yes. I was listening to some of your music, and when I saw you was doing an interview, I leaped at the chance. And the reason being, I'm gonna tell you why, is because one, gospel artists are the hardest interviews to get. They the hard,
Really?
yeah. I mean, I've done a few, but some just you can't get past your people. Not
Oh, I see. I
yeah, it's not
see.
the artist. It's just sometimes I can't get past the people. So it
I
is
see.
what
I'm
it is.
sorry.
No, no, I got you. It need to be the so shout out to Tawanda. So I appreciate you.
Yes, we love to wander. But I'm
So
thankful for the space too. I'm thankful that you're even interested. So I
oh
guess I'm a
yes.
different type of gospel artist. So
Oh, no problem, no problem. Tell me about the single, um, "Walking on Water."
okay, well, it's a song kind of saying that we're getting rid of stinking thinking when it comes to ourselves, overthinking and
Hmm.
thinking outside of the box, kind of figuratively getting out of our boats of fear, whatever it is that is keeping us from
Oh,
doing the things that God has called us to do. Uh,
okay.
one of the lyrics, one of the lyrics says, "I'm thinking outside of the box. I'm putting my faith to work. Lord, I'm trusting you and I'm ready to prove if I got to walk on water to get to where I got to go, I'm going to walk on water. I won't be afraid no more." So it's kind of like declarative
Oh,
as
no,
far
I get it.
as,
Yes.
yeah, like I won't let nothing stop me. I won't let nothing block me because sometimes we're our own biggest threat and enemy and hindrance.
Correct.
So that's really what the song is. Whatever your wow moment might be, your walk on water might be starting your business or nurturing and honing your talent or writing a book.
Right.
Whatever you're thinking outside of the box, and God might have placed some things inside of you that the world needs. It's
Hmm.
time. So walk on water for us. We need you.
I like that because it's also said, hey, Lord, if you need me to do the impossible to man, what's
Yes.
impossible to
Yes.
man, to do the impossible, then if you need me to walk on water, I walk on water. But, because
Yeah.
That's what Peter did. What was
Yes.
possible for Jesus was impossible for man, but he allowed the impossible to be possible just because
Yeah.
he focused on him. Yeah, yeah.
Preach
I like.
preach
Oh,
my
watch
song.
out now.
Preach it.
Well,
Let me go get my wallet to give you an offering. You can preach my
No,
you
just
can
let me
preach
know.
my
Listen,
song.
just let me know when you back in town for a concert, and I'll be there. That's all. That's all. That's
Okay.
all.
All love.
Let me ask you this question, and I'm gonna give you some context why I'm asking you
Okay.
this question, which is why sing gospel? And the reason I'm asking you this is because there's been a lot of people like yourself who've grown up in the church, come from a family background. Everybody's at church, all day, every day, you know, and you didn't, quote unquote, get burnt out to where you wanted to do something else, far as singing R&B or jazz or whatever. So why gospel?
Very good question, Mr. Otis. I think it's just been all that I knew, and I really do love doing it. I don't,
Okay.
not that I wouldn't love probably doing the other music. I just wasn't exposed to it much. Like the secular music that we did here, we had to sneak to get to it. So, you know, my parents, I didn't come up. All I heard was somebody got it on Monday in my house,
Right.
and you had the whinings. You and my mom is still a minister of music at my granddaddy's church where I grew up, New Hope Church of God of Christ. My dad is a bass player,
Oh yeah, you
so
was in church all day. Yeah,
you can imagine what the range of music that we would hear from like your Fred Hammond and Commission to a Rance Allen to a Mississippi Mass because my mom is learning songs to teach to the choir,
Okay.
and then she's teaching stuff to kids choir, and then she's got her own personal with the maybe Vicky Winans, Vanessa Bell, and then we grow up and you get introduced to Mary and the Kim Burrells and stuff. So it's just like a big melting pot of people that have just influenced me. And I go to their concerts, fall in love with just the atmosphere, with
Sure.
how gospel music makes you feel. And then in some of your most intense moments, like when people are transitioning, it was a gospel song that the family would play. Yes,
Yes.
secular songs are cool, but that's what helped, that might have been what your loved one wanted to hear when they were transitioning. Like it's certain people in my family that have died and a song was present or a gospel song. So whenever I hear that song,
Yeah.
it makes me think of that loved one. So I have other things that resonate with me as far as gospel music being more prevalent in my life and in my upbringing. And so it's like, why not? Um,
I'm not
I
mad
love
at
to
you.
sing.
I'm glad.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm,
Like
I'm,
I just have never considered it, but nobody's ever brought to my attention, "Won't you sing this?" But it's just always been a
well,
part of me,
I
and I
can
guess I
see
should.
the different styles and the different songs um that you sing. So
Yeah.
you have range. You can sing as a worship leader, and then you transition and give me that, good old school gospel,
Yeah.
where you squall with it, so
Yeah.
that's a, yes, you are a singer, not a singer. You are a singer.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I know that about you. And
Okay.
you've waited your turn because you sung backup for other artists and just waiting on the Lord to until he said, okay, now I'm going to put you, out front. And a lot of people don't
Yes,
realize you
sir.
got to be willing to follow and learn how to follow before you can lead. You know,
Absolutely.
we dealing with people now.
Absolutely.
Everybody want to be up front and don't know, don't know. And like, hey, you sure you want to be up front?
Get up front and then be like, oh, the WB frog, kind of, so to speak,
Okay,
scared to,
okay. Just
like,
like
oh, I didn't.
I sing, when ain't nobody looking. And now you won't put the camera on me. Like, nah, that ain't working. I used to
I
love that
thought,
frog.
me too. I changed my mind. I changed my mind because it's a lot that comes with you got to be able to talk to the crowd, make them want to hear the song. You got to present your song. Some people don't have that type of a presence, or just even when it comes to after you put the mic down and people want to meet you and take pictures, you have to have a certain continence with that. Everybody's not cut out for being, beyond the mic, but all of it matters.
All of it matters, and you do a great job. I saw I was on YouTube. I saw one of your songs. Well, not one of your songs, but you was singing for the good of them. Uh, uh,
Oh,
you have to have a relationship to sing that song. You cannot just sing that song without not having a relationship because now you have to convey it. It's not just words that you know how
yeah.
sometimes people say, "Oh, that's a hard song to sing." That's because you haven't connected to it.
It
Once
does.
you
Yeah.
connected to it, then it's not a hard song. It just you're singing it, but you're ministering. Now you're not really singing, you're ministering through song now versus just
Yeah.
singing it. So I enjoy when I heard you. I said, oh, wait a minute now. Oh, that's relationship right there.
Yeah, because that Kim McFarland, she killed it in the '80s, and it's
Uh,
that's a tough, for lack of a better saying, but that would be a tough act. She's one of my definite favorites by far. Just anything you, and you even have her. I sang her song as a teenager, "In My Name," by the
oh
Tommy Wilson
yes, at a
Bronson.
time. Oh yeah,
So
ooh, yeah,
that,
they were.
yeah, that I'll give you peace. So she's a huge person that you
Yes,
would say, when she sings, it does translate with the listener. You know, like it reaches from heart to heart. That's what the power of gospel music does. And yeah, when we go through a little something, or you're like, okay, God proved himself to me, so now I can sing about it versus me just singing like
yeah.
the race is not given, all airy and everything's
You
been
got to bring
tulips
it.
your whole life because you
Nah,
only
nah.
12 years old. You ain't had no trials. You haven't had to say, God, okay, I need you to show up right here. I don't know
Today.
what to do.
I need you
Hmm.
to show up today, not tomorrow.
Yes.
Or watch this. I don't need you to be an on time God. I need you to be right now God. I need you right. I don't. Every time you may not come when you want, but he right up now. I need you this second right now. Yeah, you have
that's
to have
that's that
lived.
Smokey Norfolk song,
And
huh?
then
I
smoking,
need you
yeah.
now.
I need you now. Smoking say, no, no, no. I need you right now.
Not a second.
Not a second later, bro. I need you to now.
Yeah.
And like you
Yeah.
said, you have to have lived that and gone through that to be able to sing that. What you're saying, and yeah, Miss Farley is a hard act to follow.
She is.
Uh,
She's super bad. I love
let me
her voice.
let me ask you this question. I'm trying to say, how do you plan to move with Jesus with the opportunities you've been given and still making sure not to let go of his
Very
hands?
good question. I think it's all in. I have a great husband covering. So I believe it's all in who you keep around you too, and in your ear to run things by. If you do feel a little pressed, like, that
Right.
don't sit well with me, let me
Hmm.
talk this through with him. Because you do have to, first of all, stay in the word so that you can feel God's presence. That'll tell you first off. If you just want, another voice of reason in a tangible sense,
Hmm.
you got my parents are saved, got aunts and uncles who I can feel
Sure.
like I could run things by and say. So I think it's just using the people that God places for you to go to for wise counsel. If you feel like
Right.
I need a tangible, first you do go to God and pray and ask Him, is there something you want me to be a part of, something you want me to do? Or if I feel like I'm going left, Lord, can you reel me back in? Can you constantly let me know, that's not what I want you to do,
Right.
or that's not where I wanted this to go. So I feel like staying in constant communication with him, first of all, and then having people planted in your life to reach out to as lifelines
Right.
to say,
Yeah.
hey, what you think about this?
Yeah.
Do this feel weird to you? Do this
Yeah. Yeah.
do this sound about like, girl, listen at this. You know how women do it. Then
Yeah.
men, you guys have your ways like, hey boy, what you think? Or
Nah,
however
because
y'all talk.
actually, no,
But
no, because actually, for me, it is my wife. For
yeah,
me, it's because I can go in a room and just go and try to own it, and then I would have to then come back to my wife and like, okay, what was because I trust my wife because I've been hard headed in the past, but I trust my wife now that if my wife said, you don't need to have that person around you or in your circle or whatever, I don't even question it now. I'm like, okay, well, because
we cut it
she has
off.
that get. Yeah, she just have because she was wrong. I mean, she was right on two previous occasions. So now I don't need no third. I don't need no third. I don't need no third time. I, I got it. I got it, Lord. I got it. So yeah, I have that, and I'm glad that you have that. What was it like working
Yeah.
with Pastor Mr. Warren Campbell?
All the phenomena, amazing, just super fun. I'm trying to combine the words because
Trying to
there is not
combine.
enough. I mean, because and definitely some pinching myself moments like, wow, this is the man who made the Mary Mary album that all trailblazed shifted gospel music in all these different ways. And then they were on TV and we
Mhm.
watched them, we cried with them, we saw when they lost their father, just all these things where you
Yes.
connected with them as a family to go
Mhm.
from that to just your social media and him seeing a plate of my chicken and waffles from Roscoe's. And he reached out to me and I didn't even know he had been watching clips of me on social media to,
Okay.
say, if you would have me, I would love to be the person that helps you in your gospel music career. I'm like,
Wow.
if
If.
it's and my husband, we were just in a restaurant like, oh
Yeah,
my
yeah,
God.
yeah, yeah.
But first I thought I was being hacked or spam when I saw the DM from him.
Right.
Cause I'm
Okay.
like,
Okay.
this is not, I kept clicking on the name and my husband kept going, no, and scooting away from the table. I said, the phone is saying Warren Campbell, but I don't know if it's the real him. So when we responded, we finally found out because he saw the picture of our food and he was like, he said he told Erica, I'm going up there to meet her right now. I'm gonna go meet her.
Oh,
And
wow.
we found out that we were at the Roscoe's that was about an hour and some change away from him. So we
Mhm.
scheduled a meeting with his assistant and we met 2 days later. He and my husband hit it off because my husband's an organist and musician as well. So they talking about guy stuff, musician stuff.
Mhm.
And then later on, he played some things for me to sing in the session. And then that's when he gave us the speech. Like, if you want me to, I would love to work with you as a
Awesome.
gospel artist and see where we
Awesome.
can take your career. And here we are. That
Here
was
we are.
2016. And now I went from that to Erica making me grits and bacon in her kitchen. And I mean, like, Mama Campbell done gave me greens to take home. I mean, it's
Oh,
just
wow.
how these strangers and people I've looked up to and they've become family. It's
I get
crazy.
I get it. I feel the same way doing these, interviews. People I've always wanted to talk to and have conversation and
Yeah.
dialogue, and then you get giddy and you get out. You're like,
Yeah.
woo! And then sometimes it's like, hey, take my number down. I'm like, what? You know, it's like, what?
Try not to fan out, huh?
Yeah,
Try
you
not to
try
fan
not,
out.
and then you try to compose yourself where you're not calling saying, Lena, what you doing? You know, you know. So yeah, I get it. I'm with you. We here. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm
And
with
that
you.
was that was me even when I met them and I would sing for other churches in LA.
Right.
And then they would be calling, why you didn't tell us you was out here? I'm like, well, I don't want to
Yeah, I was.
smother y'all with,
Yeah, I was
with my
trying to.
love.
Yeah, I was trying not to like. I didn't want y'all to be like, why do we give her our number? Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. Uh,
You'd be so
uh,
excited.
my next question for you is, what do you like to do outside of ministry?
Okay. Definitely hair was one of the things I love. I mean, from a child, I was taking cousins' ponytails down and trying to convince my cousins on Halloween, you should be a judge. Don't try to be strawberry shortcake in them or Tinkerbell.
Let's take a
Like
bit. I
you should
got you.
be you should be a judge so I could put your hair in the updo. Like I was trying to manipulate them into
Okay.
letting me do their
Do
hair.
what how
And
you want to do it.
and even one of my aunties, I remember she said, "You stop taking their ponytails down and doing their hair like that. It take us all this time to do their hair." So as a child, I just knew that that was going to be my path. Like
Okay.
just doing. I didn't see the singing Lena as the artist, if you will.
Hmm.
But yeah, hair and definitely listening to music when I'm not skating is a big thing, and
Okay.
then definitely me and my husband go for drives all the time when I'm
Mhm.
home listening to music and we're big music heads, so just choir stuff, anything random, we're just going for a drive and kind of going to eat and going to the movies, definitely in the mall. I'm a mall girl.
Okay.
Just
I got no.
but the other
I
thing,
go ahead. Go ahead. What's the other thing?
okay, that was to say the other thing I love is laughing and looking up
Okay.
funny memes on the internet. So I'm always posting funny. Right
Okay.
now, I can't post as much funny because they want me to promote the album, but
Right,
I'm
right.
usually posting something funny for people that follow me to laugh at. So definitely that, and hanging with my two siblings recently moved to different states,
Okay.
but that was another pastime where we would get together, my whole family, and do things like that together. You know, whether it's just a random come over and eat wings and watch boxing, or
What wings you
hang
like?
out.
What's your favorite?
Oh, you could give me some buffalo. You can give me barbecue, lemon pepper. You
Okay.
could give me, or you could just give me some plain fried chicken wings and some fries with some hot
Okay.
sauce.
So how's that?
I would,
Okay. So
yeah.
I try to make sure that I humanize you because sometimes you know how there people come up to you and then everybody deep, you know, every time, and then they tell you, girl, I was feeling that song when you sung, and God had told me, and you sitting there like, I could really go for some lemon pepper wings, so so I try to humanize you a little bit there, so people won't come to you and your husband deep all the time.
No,
Like,
come. We just need like come back to earth
yeah,
now.
come
We
on,
were
come
in the
on.
heavenlies earlier. Come
Yeah,
back to earth.
come on down. Cut the cloud then left. The cloud then left.
Yeah,
If you could do me a favor,
exactly.
if you could do me a favor. I'm not gonna call her name out because I don't want to put her business out. But I have a friend found out she has breast cancer,
Oh
stage 1.
wow,
If you could give some encouraging words, what would you tell her?
wow. Um, First of all, I'm praying for you. I don't know, what that feels like, but I do know that God said He wouldn't leave us or forsake us when we feel like even our health is failing, and that's leaving us. We still have our Father, and although we don't understand His
Hmm.
ways and His plans for us, his will is still good for us, even in the pain, even in the questioning. And it is okay to ask him, whatever, and go to, because some feel like we can't go to God with everything that we have. We can go with him with our frustration, with our
Yes.
disappointment, and we can lay
Yes.
that. So I wouldn't want her to feel like, because sometimes our upbringing, sometimes you're told from a child, you don't question God, you don't certain
Yeah.
things, like you said, the people that are so heavenly,
Hmm.
but you're like, God, I really want answers. But that God would, I would be like, saying that I would pray that God would send her someone who may have walked this path and
Hmm.
could just give her light on that perspective, that, things will work out all right. I can speak from the believer that's just encouraging you just
Right.
because it's what I'm supposed to do. But I would love for God to send somebody who could encourage her from a place of, I've walked through this. And on the other side is victory and bounce back and peace and joy
Right.
again and thriving again and no pain and no medication again. Like, to look forward to the healing, and the victory and the lives that you'll impact and touch when you tell your story. Um, when you come out of it, I think that's the best way I can sum it up. But definitely for the believer, the scripture says, "Many are the afflictions of those that are righteous, but the Lord brings us out of them all." So sometimes we don't see how the bring me out is going
Right.
to happen, when the
The
bring me out is going to
process. Yeah.
happen, but we have to trust that we will be brought out. So be encouraged, sister, wherever you are in your journey, and look to God to be whatever it is. Cry, scream, whatever. Embrace all the emotions that come with this news, and the feeling, and the whatever comes with just
Hmm.
this diagnosis. I
Right.
say embrace it all, but then give it to the Father and ask Him to help you redirect your energy, and so that you're still not letting it consume your day, or letting the door open for depression and all these other things that come with it. But surround yourself with people that do speak life into you, and uh, create fun things to do, that she can be actively involved in,
Sure.
things to take her
Yeah.
mind away from
Right.
it.
Take them out. Right.
Just things like that. Yeah, look at things that are funny, if that's your thing, but whatever makes you
Oh, I'll make a joke out of anything. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I would just say with
Yeah.
some people find joy in horror films. I'm like, if that's your
I
thing that
do.
brings you
I
joy,
do. I do.
you know, some people are tickled by the people running and tripping over all the stuff. Like, you're gonna be killed if you keep, you see, like, she didn't see that thing right there. She keep falling and walking slow. That cracks me up when I see certain
Yeah,
movies where they're trying to get a, oh, and Black people, we gonna talk to the
we're gonna talk. Oh
to the
yeah, we're gonna talk to
movie.
the movie. You know, we talk to the movie now. Come on now, trying. We got to help the victim out through through this whole trial and tribulation that they going through. You know, and then we even get deep with it. Like, oh, you don't have no discernment. You didn't know that he was there. Like, come on, man.
And then we'd be like, he right there. We'd be
He's
pointing.
yeah. I just
You
have two more questions for you, but yeah, no, that's my coping. But I'm glad you said something before I asked the last two questions for you. I'm glad you said what you said because I've been telling people this for years when you say don't question God. And I say, do you actually think God is scared of your anger when you upset? Do you actually think God's sitting there like, ooh, child, I ain't mean to get Lena mad. I ain't know. I'm like,
She
are you
told me. I guess
okay?
she let me have it.
I
But
said, but it's the most sincere prayer because you're actually you're not coming with all this fluff, you're not trying to butter God up and all that. And
yeah,
now he can talk to you sincerely because David said thou desire truth from the inward part. So now you can actually hear from him now instead of coming to him like he don't know where he is. You know,
yep,
thy heavenly hope. Like God, don't be trying to tell God who he is. He know. He told Moses, "I am." Look, hey,
yep.
God said we ain't gonna even get deep with it. I am. That's all you need to know. But
And sometimes all you can come with is your tears, and that's cool
it's your
too.
and it's
Like,
sincere. Yeah.
that's all you can come
It's,
with. Just get on your knees and cry it out. Like, let all of it go, because that's the other thing some people don't realize. Holding certain things in affects your physical health. And that's like, get all of that out of your system. Punch them pillows, the walls, whatever. I just say, because I don't know what frustration comes with it. Now, I did have a client who I was the first person she came back to when she got her diagnosis. And
mm-hmm,
she was a smoker, and she was scared for a while to go see what was going on. She just felt weird in her body.
mm-hmm.
But just the fact that she came back to the salon with she just said, I want you to come with me, because the doctors pretty much told me my stage is, past. I waited too late to go see what was wrong.
Wow.
But she said, I want you to pray with me before I go home and tell my son, he was a freshman in high school at the
Mm.
time, that I won't get to see him graduate. So that night I got home and I was just tossing my pans and pots, and my husband was like, what's wrong? I was like, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong. But it was really me taking on the
Just the
burden
frustration,
of,
yeah, because you wanted.
yeah. And even though I prayed with her, and I was like, man, we gonna be all right. I was trying to encourage her the best way I can. And when you come next weekend, because she was coming every week to get her hair done,
Right.
they told her there was no point in doing chemo because of how the cancer was so aggressive. So, and then stage, 4. So she just was experiencing all this pain or whatever. But she was like, I'm really scared to go to the hospital. So we finally got her to go. But when she did go, that's when they told her, it's
There was nothing.
basically nothing they can do. But
And
I was like, wow, God, it just caused me to be even more mindful of my witness. Like, she wanted to come back here. She came back to the shop to say, can you pray with me before I go home? Like, so my light, I was like, wow, I never, and I was way younger than I'm 40 now, but I was just like, this lady's older than me and came here to get whatever from me to go back home. Like, what
so
is that?
let me tell you what's amazing about that testimony that you just gave. One, it reminded me what I went through last year with my father-in-law, and God told me because He told me you don't get to minister when it's convenient for you.
Mm,
One of the hardest prayers is what you were talking about when the doctors and people say, look, there's nothing else we can do, yada, 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 right? And a person is asking you, pray, can you pray with me, pray for me? You sitting there like, well, what am I? Like, it's almost like you don't have anything. Like, you're trying to pull from somewhere. And it's like, what you kind of get frustrated because and I've learned now sometimes it's okay to tell God, I don't know what to say to you. I don't know what to ask. I don't even know. I'm coming to you, but I just don't know. And I just kind of leave it like that. And it was amazing, but you're having that experience because actually you have a song for it now, which is Watch Me.
Yep.
See, I told you I listen to
Yep.
the Watch Me when I was listening to your lyrics, because that listen, the title, you're thinking you're talking about you
Yeah.
just looking at it
You.
like Watch
Yep.
Me. Oh, she's saying
And you see
okay,
eyes
yeah, and then it's like
with the.
no, no, no. As you were singing it, I was like, no, this is God telling us, no, watch me.
Hmm.
Watch what
Yep.
I do. Watch me. So you have a song. You have a song for that, and that's. Can you speak to that song and where did that? How was that birth? Where did that come from?
Just Pastor Warren Campbell and I wrote that at the time in the pandemic when we weren't really allowed to travel. So we were on Zoom just like you and I,
Hmm.
just bouncing different ideas off of each other. And I was like, I kind of want to just remind the believer that even though we're in this fighting over toilet tissue and Lysol, um, God, everything is gonna be okay. But humans just go crazy when they lose control and don't have answers, when they can't, put a date to when this is gonna be over and can't control, people don't want to wear a mask. They don't want to have a curfew, just all of these things.
Sure.
So I was like, he's still the God of the chaos that was in biblical times and when
Hmm.
there was all these different incurable diseases and plagues and he brought people through in that time. This is nothing to God. It's just like a rerun, for even though it's new to us, but nothing is new to him. So I said we can still thrive and prosper in this time, as well. So as we talked about it further, he was like, yeah, I love the concept that you're saying. So we just started bouncing different ideas. He sat at the keyboard on Zoom and I just started singing certain stuff and he said, oh, say this, say this. So we
Okay.
kept going
Okay.
and then that's how the song, we looked up, we had a whole song like, whoa. So yeah, Watch Me hits different for me just because of how I was just so about like wanting people to feel like, no, God hasn't left us. You might think he has because people were dying
Oh.
left and right, but he
Ooh.
hasn't left us.
See, we here today. Because my friend who I was telling you about, that's what I told her. I said, I know sometimes it seems like he's not there,
Yeah.
but he is. And I say, just talk to the answer, because that's what I call him. He's the answer,
Yep.
you know.
Yeah. That's
So
good. That's good.
he's the answer. Your song, Watch Me, when I listened to it today, and I really don't have any more questions for you, but I want to encourage you, that song, go and look at this movie because it's called A Lesson Before Dying
Okay.
with
A
Mikhail
lesson before
Pfeiffer.
dying.
It's on YouTube. You can see it on YouTube. You can pull it up with the actor Mikhail Pfeiffer, Don Cheadle, and your song actually goes with it. As far as we got Watch Me, but it also goes with what you were talking about with your client when there was nothing else you can do. It if you watch A Lesson Before Dying, it hits it hits different, and
Okay.
so well, you passing the time while you're in the hotel, pass the time before you talk to your husband or when you get off the phone
Sure,
with,
sure, sure.
go check it out. So thank you for
Okay.
blessing me with your presence and coming on the show. We don't take it lightly. I would love to have you back, and every time I have people back, I like to try to partner them with somebody different. We did a
Okay.
thing where I had Paul Anthony from Full Force. I had an author. I had actor Ernest Thomas, and what we did the first series
Nice.
that we called was and Pastor Tim Fryer. We called it Testimonies, and
Oh, nice.
basically all it was everybody just had their turn talking about what they overcame.
Nice.
And
Nice.
Paul Anthony overcame 3 battles of cancer. Yeah, he blew out. Yeah, he just knocked everybody out. My friend, Pastor Tim Fryer, he had to learn how to maneuver again with the death of his son, little Timmy, that was named after him. And then Ernest Thomas talked about overcome actor Ernest Thomas. You know, we know him as Roger Thomas from What's Happening, and he overcame a drug addiction. So it's just everybody.
Wow.
Oh, just
Ooh,
you know what I'm saying? Because at
that's a
times
deep.
we live in, everybody needs something to say, okay, well, if they went through this and they can come on the other side, you know. So I'm trying to work on a part two. So I would love to be able to have you back and
Okay.
you know, bless us with a prayer. And I'll get with you one, you know, after your schedule
Okay.
kind of, you know, simmers down. I know you're on the go. So continue much success and blessings.
Thank you.
And please stay safe out there. And we love you.
Yes, sir. You too. Thank you. I love you back. Thank you. This was so much fun. Thank you.
God
I gotta go
bless.
to another one. Take
Peace.
care.